out to the 6-yard line. 3rd down and 7. At least on a punt, they won't have to punt from the back of the end zone.
Well,
maybe.
What we've seen is that some of those inside runs have done well, but the one home run that they hit in this game was when Ronnie Hillman went around the edge with a couple of wide receivers flanked out and something that looked just about like this on the right side over here. That was their touchdown play.
And that is juggled and not caught. Demaryius Thomas again has not collected anything tonight. Ryan with the coverage. 4th down.
It's the toughest play in football right there. You got to slant underneath you got to run underneath the receiver. And I just don't think Thomas ever quite got a grip. Was helped by Logan Ryan's hand being in there to strip it away, but that was a big play in the ball game right there on 3rd down.
And now Colquitt to put it in the air. Chris Harper stands back at the 50-yard line. Good kick. And that will bound to a stop at about the 35-yard line. And that's what they needed to get out of trouble. A 59-yard boot.
You may not even think about the energy that lights up your world, but we do. We're ExxonMobil, and the cleaner burning natural gas we produce generates more of our electricity than ever before, helping dramatically reduce America's emissions. Because turning on the lights isn't as simple as just flipping a switch. Energy lives here.
Performance, no matter where, no matter what. The only intelligent all-wheel drive system with enhanced driving performance for all-season capability is now available on more models than ever. We only make one thing. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Hurry into BMW Novemberfest and receive a credit of up to $6,500 on select BMW models by November 30th.
Mary J. Blige, Queen Latifah, Common, Neo, David Allen Greer, and an all-star cast.
That wasn't my full growl. I'm just giving you a little bit.
The Wiz Live, Thursday, 8/7 Central on NBC.
Sunday Night Football brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By BMW, we only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine. By McDonald's, teaming up with the NFL like never before. And by Nationwide, Nationwide is on your side. Pomona Panthers advancing to the Class 5A championship. Beat Columbine yesterday. Take on take on Christian Valor right here next Saturday. Congratulations, guys. From the 35-yard line, this drive begins with Blount up to the 38. So Tom Brady, Dion Lewis was such a big part of the first half of the season. Tore his ACL week 9. Edelman broke his foot. Could be back, should be back for the playoffs. Amendola sprained his knee last week, and he didn't even make the trip. Might play next week. We'll see when they meet Philadelphia. He's not only a great receiver, but the leading punt returner in the league. 2nd and 7. And that's caught by Scott Chandler. So Tom Brady, you think about it, he's seen everything. I love the way he said he's like almost at the top of his. Maybe he is. He wants to play till he's 45. What do you think?
You're going to tell him he can't? You know, what we have seen historically is at about 39, there is a pretty steep cliff that they all seem to go off of, and I think you could almost do that line of demarcation with what we've seen from Peyton. But who knows? He takes care of himself. He said has these special programs. He felt great on Wednesday. Who knows? Maybe he can. That'd be all right with me. I enjoy watching him play.
That's why Jack Benny never went over the cliff. Here's LeGarrette Blount for a gain of about 3.
You know, you showed that graphic, though, and I find it interesting. It's one of the unusual parts of the Patriots, in my opinion, is that this team really never had elite speed. They just don't on this offense. What they have is elite quickness. Unfortunately, the elite quickness is now injured. It's Amendola, it's Edelman, and Dion Lewis.
2nd and 8 from the 48, under 2 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Brady stepping up, fires on the run and incomplete. Intended for Gronkowski.
Yeah, let's go back and we'll look at some of these slot receivers over the years. I think you might recognize a few names. Troy Brown and all the magical things he's done for this franchise. Wes Welker is good as there's ever been doing this and sort of invented that role just a little bit. And then Julian Edelman, and his amazing play. We saw what he did was so good in the Super Bowl. And now all those easy first downs are no longer there for Tom Brady.
3rd and 8. And he floats one down the sideline and almost intercepted. Intended for Chandler. That was to lead Rishi for it. But the field is really coming into play on almost everything right now.
Keep Talib with a nice recovery there. He had to, I think this is him right out here. He's got to hustle his way out there. They had an adjustment and he just took off and ran. And lucky for him, he got his head around there. Or that could have been one of those cutoff pass interference calls. This defense has played really well since the 1st quarter.
Especially with the losses of Ward and Williams, 2 key guys. And that is a very short punt off the foot of Allen. And
no call.
He's looking for a running into the kicker from Todd Davis and will not get it. 34 yards.
Track 5, vocals. Track 3, piano.
Someday at Christmas, men won't be boys, playing with bombs like kids play with toys. One warm December, our hearts will see a world where men are free. We swing it like that.
Someday at Christmas, we'll see a land with no hungry children, no empty hands. One happy morning, people will share a world where people care. Whoa. Someday all our dreams will come to be. Someday in a world where people are free. Maybe not in time for you and me, but someday at Christmas time. Someday at Christmas time. Yeah, give ourselves a hand.
David, remember, she's my only granddaughter. Love, Dad. Get 20% off now at NFLshop.com.
Jordan Spieth, Ricky Fowler, and Bubba Watson have one final showdown at the Hero World Challenge. Live coverage begins Thursday, noon Eastern, continues Saturday on NBC. From the 18-yard line now. Play action starts this drive. Pass caught. Vernon Davis came over from the 49ers about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Longtime 49er tight end. Makes the catch here. That's a gain of 6 yards, 2nd and 4.
Yeah, and it's a good idea to get him going. Here's a guy that has big play, explosive ability. And sometimes as a receiver, if you can just get your hands on the ball, it gets you back in the flow of the game. Maybe we can get to some of those vertical threats now that the snow is going to slow down this pass rush.
2 catches for Davis tonight. Caught 6 last week in Chicago. There goes Ronnie Hillman. And he loses the ball, but alertly the Broncos are able to recover. So Hillman coughed it up, and then Garcia winds up recovering it to save the day, at least for the moment. It'll be third down.
Yeah, it looked like Chandler Jones there able to get off the block of Mathis and get his hands on that one. Going to come from the inside here and strip that ball out, and that might have been game, set, and match if the Patriots jumped on that one.
Loss of 2 at the end of the day on that play. It's third down and 8 now from the 20-yard line. Final half minute of the third quarter. Osweiler fires over the middle, and that's batted away. Benny Fowler, the intended receiver, and Patrick Chung says, not in my direction. Fourth down.
It's a poor throw. It was definitely behind Fowler at that time. There was some space in front and just thrown behind. They should have been able to pick up that first down.
Colquitt will do the punting. That's Chung who's going to fall in at the 31-yard line and get tackled up at the 35-yard line. 7 seconds remaining in the third. So you've got the Panthers at 11-0. Big Thanksgiving Day win. So impressive against the Cowboys, the Patriots. That's what they've got left. Pats have the Eagles. Then they go to Houston, and we have just flexed into that game. So in 2 weeks from tonight, we will be in Houston, where the Texans are rolling as well, meeting the Patriots, who could come in 11-0.
J.J. Watt has decided to take over this league. That defense has just been dominant for a month now.
From the 35-yard line, Brady deep down the right sideline, and that's incomplete. Scott Chandler was the intended receiver. 2 ticks remaining in the quarter.
Yeah, it's the same way they scored a touchdown on the earlier drive. They've got a linebacker walked out, but they're not getting any contact on that outside player, and so you're getting a free lane down the boundary. The safety is in the middle of the field too deep, and you can't get there. They always train those corners, jam them from the outside in, force them in so that the safety can get there.
Each quarterback 15 of 25 for almost the same yardage. This is Bolden. He will end the quarter. The difference is Osweiler, no TDs, 1 pick. Brady, 2 TDs. End of the third. 14-7 is the score. Sunday Night Football from Denver back after this.
Making a list, he's checking it twice. He's gonna find out who's naughty or nice.
He's watching you, Hollywood. Ricky Gervais hosts the Golden Globes, January 10th on NBC.
All eyes are on Toyota's Black Friday event, a mega sales event that will eclipse the competition. For 10 days only, get 0% financing on 11 different new Toyotas. Lease this 2015 Prius liftback for just $199 a month, or get up to $2,500 cash back on your favorite new Toyota. And every new Toyota comes with 2-year no-cost maintenance. Hurry, Toyota's Black Friday event ends November 30th. Toyota, let's go places.
When you unwrap Christmas with Academy Sports and Outdoors, you save money and unwrap year-round excitement. You unwrap outdoor adventures. You unwrap quality time. And you unwrap great family memories. Unwrap a Christmas they'll never forget. Because when you find the perfect gifts at everyday low prices, they're not just unwrapping presents. They're unwrapping endless fun.
This holiday season, get ready for homecomings.
I see you brought a friend.
Want to see.
Longing. Serendipity.
What are the
chances?
And good tidings to all.
Hang on to your antlers.
It's the event you don't want to miss. It's the Season of Audi sales event. Get up to a $2,500 bonus for highly qualified lessees on select Audi models.
The news you want, when you want it. Download the Wave 3 News app.
Snow globe shot Denver. Tonight's aerial coverage being brought to you by Geico. Downtown Denver, Colorado on this final Sunday night of November. There's Robert Kraft, the longtime owner of the New England Patriots. On the team now for over 2 decades.
Got pretty good when he took over, didn't he?
Yeah, as you mentioned before, the 4 major North American team sports, they would have the best winning percentage over that period of time. 3rd down and 8. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya on Sunday night as Brady surveys, and it's caught. Getting out in front is Brandon Bolden, and Bolden breaking tackles goes into the end zone. Brandon Bolden throwing it over Danny Trevathan, the linebacker, covering 63 yards on a 3rd down and 8.
That's what's happened all night long. They have isolated these linebackers in coverage positions they're not used to being in. For Danny Trevathan, he is not used to having to cover a back that is 40 yards down the field. It has just been a tremendous game plan tonight by Josh McDaniels. In light of all the weapons that he lost, he has isolated these linebackers in key situations and taken advantage.
2nd touchdown reception of the season for Brandon Bolden. And that took a little bit of air out of the crowd here at Mile High. Gostowski now for the extra point. And with 10 seconds gone in the 4th quarter, it is New England 21, Denver 7.
Let me see that.
Participation trophy. But we won every game. Why did we get the same trophy as all those teams we beat? Are we gonna start ending games with hugs instead of handshakes? No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
Here you go, champ.
Thanks.
Here it comes. The deal that called out to you from amongst thousands of others. With Amazon's deal notifications, you knew right when it was ready to feel your warm embrace. It's Cyber Monday Deals Week at Amazon. Let the deals come to you.
When a moment turns romantic, why pause to take a pill? Or stop to find a bathroom? Cialis for daily use is approved to treat both erectile dysfunction and the urinary symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently, day or night. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any symptoms of an allergic reaction, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis and a $200 savings card.
Sunday Night Football, your ticket to 2 teams fighting to stay in the playoff hunt. The Colts ride into Pittsburgh looking to take down Big Ben and the Steelers at home. Wow! Colts, Steelers. Sunday night is football night, only on NBC.
Great play call, got the matchup they wanted. Bolden, who caught only 5 passes all season coming in, has 3 tonight. So most TD passes in history. Peyton with 539, Brett with 508, and Brady and Marino are now tied for 3rd, with Drew Brees about 4 behind them. 420 career touchdown passes. Bolden to the 21, and back we go to the touchdown.
Yeah, you'll see Trevathan take this underneath route because he's used to when the back comes out going in the flat, whatever. But when he wheels up and he goes under, he can't get back underneath it. So now it turns into a foot race on a bad field, and you give up the big play you're hoping not to. A big part of that, though, was Sebastian Vollmer over on the left, switching off that play against Shane Ray, providing Tom Brady just enough time for that out and up. Big game changer.
3 touchdown passes for Brady tonight. Rolling right, buying time, launching one, tip, and incomplete. Intended for Sanders, doubled that time. Coverage by Devin McCourty with some help from his friends, and it's 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, and it's one of the things that they've wanted to get to tonight. Unfortunately, when you're down 14, some of those bootlegs and some of those things that look so good when your running game is going, it's not going to fool anybody defensively now. Now they're protecting against those big plays.
Osweiler, that's tipped. Alan Branch got a hand on it, and it will be 3rd down and 10.
We talk so much, and there's Matt Patricia. We talk so much, though, about the ability of these edge pass rushers, but more often than not, a lot of times what makes the play is if you get that interior push by one of those guys. There's Alan Branch just taking Paradis right back into the quarterback to make the play.
3rd and 10. Osweiler, look out as he throws, and that pass is incomplete. You had Gerard Mayo flying through the middle, knocking Osweiler down. He gets up limping. Thomas can't make the catch, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, Mayo is just so deep here. You don't think he's going to come. You think he's going to end up going with the pressure. When he blitzes, it looks almost like a delayed blitz, and the center Paradis really didn't even anticipate him coming because of the depth, and he gets a good shot on Osweiler there. And boy, I tell you, it is not much depth at all behind him. Simeon would be next in.
A rookie out of Northwestern.
Whoops.
It's a 35, the ball. And the Broncos in dire need of a major break. Just got one.
Was that Cody Latimer down there on the coverage?
Well, Chris Harper lost it, and then coming away with the ball. Well, the New England Patriots now are going to contend that they have it. Ebner says, I've got it. But the officials are going to go Denver. There's no Amendola, so you got the rookie Harper. And you got Latimer down there, and here comes Ebner, but he's not going to get there before Barrett gets there. Shaq Barrett recovers for the Broncos to set him up at the 36-yard line.
Wasn't it a botched punt in that game? That huge comeback by New England up there that sort of turned the tables on that one. And now Brock Osweiler, we'll see how he's doing. Last time we saw him, he was limping off the field.
It was Walker when he was playing for Denver after he left New England. Now at the 36-yard line. Broncos with new life, but then the pass is incomplete, intended for Owen Daniels.
There's just been a few of those in the game where it has looked so easy. These are easy pitch and catch kind of plays, but you're just not used as the backup quarterback to knowing what each individual guy is going to do. We have seen him now on several key throws. I don't think it's a lack of accuracy. I think it's just a lack of timing with specific receivers.
What ball? I mean, you can make a million excuses here. 2nd and 10. C.J. Anderson. And that's going to set up a 3rd down and 5. A little under 14 to play in the 4th.
Sort of interesting strategically. You've already missed one long field goal. Do you play this as 4-down territory here and think in terms of I don't need to get it all on this one play?
Well, who would have ever thought they would target Demaryius Thomas 8 times tonight and he wouldn't have a catch? 3rd and 6. Here they come. He hangs in there. It's Sanders to the 14-yard line. He's made a bunch of big plays tonight. None bigger than that one. That's a gain of 17 to keep the drive alive.
And that's because this offensive line picked up this blitz. They sent everybody here. They're bringing the house, and that left plenty of time for Sanders. He just got a little natural pick on the outside against Malcolm Butler to pick that up. Big-time play.
C.J. Anderson, a nice block hanging in there as well. Sanders has got 5 for 74. From the 15.
What's up?
To the outside. Anderson, can he swing around the corner? He can! And C.J. Anderson is in for the touchdown.
That may have been one of the best jump cuts I've seen all season. He is hot tonight. Watch how far up in here he gets, and then laterally, like a crab would run almost, goes straight sideways all the way around everybody, including a safety and a corner on the outside. We are seeing the C.J. Anderson that we saw at the end of last year when he had 8 touchdowns in the last 8 games and 767 yards, and there he is again. Great play.
The turnover, they make it pay off. They've turned it into a one-possession game with 12.5 to go. McManus now for the extra point. So the Denver Broncos got the break that they needed. Cash in on it. 21-14 with 12.5 to go in Denver.
There he is. Look at that bad man getting his smoothie on. Bad man getting his feet wet. Who's that bad man getting his feet wet? This is Russell Wilson country. And this, Russell Wilson air. You see that? Whose bird is that? That's Russell Wilson's bird.
It's me, the M, the A, C, the K. Sounding like a French bump back in the day.
Wireless headphones, engineered for exceptional sound. Are you finished yet? Mm-hmm. You see that?
Every time you clean.
Are you done? Or? No.
Get great deals from Verizon. Get the Fitbit Charge. Get $40 off. Get it now. Get going. Get more this holiday season from Verizon.
Introducing the Kia Holidays on Us sales event. Get a Kia Optima, Forte, or Soul with no payments due for 5 months, including your first 2 payments on us, plus 0% financing. With those kinds of savings, you can afford to enjoy the holiday season even more. Because this year, the holidays are on Kia, with no payments due for 5 months, including your first 2 payments on us, plus 0% financing. Discover more joy. Discover the new Kia. Hurry in today before the holidays are over.
Sunday Night Football being brought to you by the Kia Sorrento, built for football families. By Amazon Prime, millions of ways to save the day. And by Puma, forever faster. Now, it's a scene we have seen many, many times. 16 times, and we see it again the night before the game under different circumstances. No doubt Brady wishing Peyton a really speedy recovery. He's going to be out at least next week, and then we'll see.
Who knows? Maybe we'll see that before the year's up too.
Not out of the realm of possibility. Of course, that's going to be one of the big storylines here in Denver. Already is. When Peyton wasn't playing very well, not everybody, some people thinking it's time to get the other guy in there, give him a chance. Now, he's going to miss next week, but then we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see what they do down the stretch when Peyton gets healthy.
And how does Brock Osweiler do? I mean, this is an offense that obviously fits Osweiler better than it does Peyton Manning, but they were also, when they had Peyton Manning in there in that new hybrid offense. So it'll be a very interesting thing. I think if Manning's ready, he will play, but who knows? We've seen stranger things happen.
From the 20-yard line, Brady Clean pocket deep down the sideline. Flag is thrown. Intended for Scott Chandler. And we'll see what.
The hands. Hands in the face. Offense number 76. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Sebastian Vollmer, el alemán, el número
Watch the left hand of
76.
Sebastian Vollmer. He is going to come out here and get that left hand right underneath the face mask of Von Miller here.
Ahí está, con la mano
and then not only get it there, but that made it pretty easy.
Y un poquito también de actuación.
First and 20.
A 3 and out here would be pretty big. The momentum would be shifting in a major way.
And then get good field position in all likelihood. And that's caught up at the 18. Chandler makes the catch. Gain of about 8. Second down and 12.
Now we're starting to see a little more zone because of some of the game planning of Tom Brady and Josh McDaniels and some of the ways that this man coverage has gotten him. Wade Phillips now is dropping into a few zones. Let's see what he does here. This is, in my opinion, the series of the game right here.
Wade Phillips or Nanook of the North. Second and 11. Brady deep down the right sideline, and that is incomplete. Pass intended again for Scott Chandler. Been going his way a lot of times tonight. Third down and 11, covered by Marshall.
Well, they've got what they want. They want one-on-one with their tight ends on the outside against these linebackers. But Brandon Marshall was up to the task there. And this is Von Miller time. If you ever got pressure out of Von Miller, this is where you need it right now. You can't have Brady back there surveying the field. It's like Gronk is going to give him a little chip on the way out.
Brady under pressure, gets away. Flag is thrown deep downfield, getting wide open is Keyshawn Martin, and he'll get taken down to the 29. But a flag is down in the offensive backfield. Here comes Correnti. Is this an offensive hold?
Holding. Offense, number 63. This penalty be assessed after this field goal. Repeat, third down.
So that is Trey Jackson. He is a rookie 4th-round pick out of Florida State. That would have been a 51-yard gain.
Yeah, Von Miller's going to loop around here. Trey Jackson's going to pick him up and not be able to hold him out. And then the pressure on Brady. Brady escapes, makes the huge play, but all for naught.
And gets whacked at the end as well.
Says it all.
Yeah, it does. Third and 20. Rocking and rolling in Denver. And then Brady has to just dump it because the pressure was put on by Miller. Miller coming in, not blocked. Brady upset with Correnti. 4th and 20.
Well, they had a screen pass going to the left that wasn't going to fool anybody. Plus, Von Miller went unblocked around the edge. And so Tom Brady said, I think I'll get out of here and go yell at Tony Correnti one time.
Now Ryan Allen sending it down toward Omar Bolden. Oh, and he drops the ball at the 44-yard line and recovers it at the 45-yard line.
The Broncos keep recovering theirs and the Patriots don't. That's kind of the difference in the game.
Yes, it is. 10:58 to go in regulation in a 7-point game.
Why are you sleeping?
Come on. What time is it?
It's go time.
Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. I feel like I went to bed an hour ago. I'll make the cocoa.
Get a great offer on the car of your grown-up dreams at the Mercedes-Benz winter event.
It's the look on their faces that makes it all worthwhile.
But hurry, these offers end soon.
says what?
PC does 360-degree rotations. PC does what no PC has done before. Does yours?
The people closest to you can be the hardest to shop for. But if you know where to look for inspiration, you can find the perfect gift for everyone on your list. And share wonder every day. Walmart.
Well, DirecTV beat us in customer satisfaction again for the 15th year in a row. But we have a plan.
When our customers are on hold, let's up their satisfaction with some new hold music.
That's Glenn from the mailroom. He DJs on the weekends.
Sorry, who is it?
It's Glenn from the mailroom.
He DJ'd Bill's wedding.
You what?
He goes by DJ Glenn. He works way downstairs. What do you say?
Glenn from the mailroom.
Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Police!
Are you now or have you ever been an informant for the FBI?
Someone's talking.
There's a rat on my team. I need to kill it.
Quarterback comparison tonight, Tom Brady with 3 touchdowns. So he has better numbers than Osweiler does. Osweiler sacked 3 times. Passing by distance, everything's short. I mean, the conditions kind of compel it. And that's been part of the story of the game. From the 45-yard line, bursting through. Hillman. Gain of 8 yards. Let's go to Michelle.
Well, Pats linebacker Dante Hightower has no change in his status, Al. He is still questionable with that knee injury. It happened late in the first half. He's been out here the entire second half, but just sitting on the bench, sometimes helmet in his hands, sometimes not, but just sitting.
All right, Michelle, so missing him, and Jamie Collins not even on the trip. He's been ill for about 3 weeks, got back to practice, but not here tonight, and Hillman gets stopped by Salinga right there. Division leaders, New England, big lead in the East. Cincinnati winning today, beat St. Louis. Denver on top in the West, that won't change. And Indy in a dogfight in that South, which has bunched up right now with Houston there as well at 6-5.
How about Matt Hasselbeck coming in? He just keeps winning. It's amazing.
When he's not texting Brett Favre when Brett's on the air.
Busting our job.
Right. From the 45-yard line. Good play action. That buys time. And lets Osweiler throw, and that will be caught by Owen Daniels for a first down. Daniels covered on the outside, but not well enough.
First of all, great protection, but Osweiler had to throw this one a long way on a line. We are seeing now the Patriots so far down. Darius Fleming, who just came up from the practice squad, out there in coverage on this one. But watch this protection all the way across the board. No way that happens unless he gets it.
At the 34.
What's up?
Hillman. He gets wrapped up by Rob Ninkovich. Ticking down under 9 minutes to go in regulation.
I'll tell you, we have seen a lot of good blocking on the backside of runs, and it's why we've seen some of these cutbacks. Watch these guys back here on the backside hang with it. And the back knows, stay front side, but then the last minute break back there, and you get all that momentum pushed down. And that's where some of those big runs have come.
2nd and 7 from the 30. Wide open. First down. C.J. Anderson down the sideline. And C.J. Anderson takes the ball to the 10. Patrick Chung stops him there. It's going to make it first down and goal.
I think we're going to declare C.J. Anderson a mutter. He seems to have no problems whatsoever. And some of these lateral cuts, he's making people miss left and right out there on the field. Just a low center of gravity, and here's the guy. Maybe now he is just going to do what he did a season ago, which is just take over the game in the second half of the year. You know, Eddie Lacy's a little bit like that, Al. You know, over the Green Bay Packers, his best game's late.
Through the middle. Well, last year Anderson came on. He gave them a a real shot at the end of the season. And he started the season as the starter. Then they went to Hillman with Anderson backing him up. He may get his job back here.
Yeah, the other interesting part of this is that because that Luis Vasquez is out of the game now, he is probably their best pass blocker inside, but Max Garcia and Evan Mathis are the best run blockers, and maybe in this game that's more significant now.
Second down and goal from the 7. 4 receivers set to the right. Osweiler fires in that direction. Caldwell, and he gets tackled at the 3-yard line, setting up a 3rd and goal.
Now that's one of those for Andre Caldwell. You'd really greatly prefer that he catch that ball and just head north and south right now. There's Matt Patricia expecting a little girl here in a couple of weeks. His wife Raina, congrats to all of them.
3rd and goal, they put Anderson back in.
No doubt in my mind what I'd be doing here. I think C.J. Anderson has proven that he can make this happen somehow. Screen, hand it to him, something.
Does Demaryius Thomas catch a ball tonight? Well, we'll find out in a minute. Play clock all the way down. It'll be 3rd down and goal.
They're first. 30-second timeout.
So next Sunday night, speaking of our friend Mr. Matt Hasselbeck character, he did it again today, led Indy to a win. It's Indianapolis at Pittsburgh. Going to find out about Ben Roethlisberger under concussion protocol at the end of the game. So Indy beats Tampa Bay today, 25-12. And Seattle in a wild one knock off the Pittsburgh Steelers 39-30. Roethlisberger, a spectacular day, 450 some odd yards, but got to find out. Undergoing the protocol. That's next week. Indy at Pitt. All right, 3rd down and goal.
Empty backfield.
Yeah, C.J. Anderson comes all the way to the left. They go 5 wide, very wide. And Osweiler throws, and it's incomplete. Thomas, the intended receiver, but not even close. 4th and goal.
Yeah, miscommunication again here. And I kind of agree with Osweiler on this one. It's man coverage on the outside, and you've got Demaryius Thomas. You've got to believe he's going to break to the out. Against man coverage, you don't sit this down, you break this out. And for whatever reason, he just turned around and gave it like it was going to be. Now, I don't know, who knows, whether or not that's a true option route or not. But against man, he should have broken it out.
Along the way, Logan Ryan is pitching a shutout tonight. McManus for the field goal from 21. With 6:08 to go, it's New England 21 and Denver 17 on Sunday Night Football.
To do great things, sometimes you gotta break the rules. Surface Pro 4, a new screen for new perspectives. A new pen for new masterpieces. New speakers for a new sound. We reinvented the Surface Pro so you can reinvent everything else.
You know that, wow, I'm starving feeling? Well, now at Subway, you can make it deluxe. 50% more meat on any 6-inch sub for just 50 cents more for our 50th anniversary. It's 50 for 50 on our 50th. So when you're craving that little extra, get to Subway and make it deluxe.
How else do you think he gets around so fast? Take the reins this holiday and get the Mercedes-Benz you've always wanted during the winter event. Hurry, offers end soon.
Merry Christmas!
I hate Christmas! I hate all of you!
We heard something on the roof.
Krampus, rated PG-13.
NFL Play 60, the NFL's movement for a more active generation, encouraging fans to get moving and play for 60 minutes every day. Run, jump, and race to Super Bowl 50 with free NFL Play 60 app.
I love watching those kids.
Touchback, Brady taking over at the 20-yard line.
Well, remember what he said? He said if we asked him about all the guys missing on this offense, he said, hey, if you need to count on someone, I'd rather them count on me. I'd much rather have it all be on my plate than someone else's because I know I can handle it. We'll see. They need a few first downs here. Gronk's been a little quiet here lately, hasn't he?
Yeah, they've done a good job on him. He scored 5 overall in the game for 74 yards. Early touchdown. James White is the running back. Play action over the middle, and the pass a little bit behind Gronkowski, and incomplete. 2nd down and 10. Bruton covering on the play.
Boy, they had a perfect one going there. Had the safety come out of center field. Gronkowski is going to be wide open on that play, and the ball just thrown behind. That one had a lot of green grass in front of Gronkowski on that one.
2nd and 10. Again, Bruton had to cover him. T.J. Ward hurt early in the game, out. Sylvester Williams nose tackle out. Wade Phillips has done a nice job adjusting. Swing it to the outside, and that's caught for a 4-yard gain. Aqib Talib tackling Brandon Bolden. It will be 3rd and 5.
Yeah, but didn't get the man coverage that they had been dealing with on the touchdown for before. So just a monster opportunity for this defense now. A 3 and out to give the ball back to young Brock Osweiler with a chance to beat Tom Brady. About all you can ask for right here.
Good pocket, caught, 1st down, and that is Gronkowski. Flag is down.
Gronk very physical at the point of that break.
Are they going to call it on him? He's already had 4 offensive pass interference calls made against him this year.
Pass interference, offense, number 87.
There's the 5th.
10-yard penalty.
That's one area you don't want to lead the league in, but he does. That's 5 offensive pass interference calls on Gronkowski.
Watch him go down the field now and dip that left shoulder in. A little arm extension. That is as close on that call as you can get. And that's what Brady's saying. He's saying he did not push off. He had his arm bent, which typically, if you're on the edge of the guy, you get the benefit of the doubt. But that is one that, honestly, Al, it could go either way.
Right.
That was as close to the border as you could get on that one.
Like so many. 3rd and 15 from the 15-yard line. Great protection. Brady throws it about 60 yards downfield and incomplete. Intended for Brandon LaFell. Talib and Bolden back there with him. 4th and 15, and Denver figures to get the ball back in fairly decent field position.
Great protection, but Brady is going to take a shot at the tail end of this because he took so much time to throw it. Watch Shaq Barrett come in and just go after him. Whew. A little high. I guess no shot to the head considered there. But here we go. This is going to be a great finish.
Allen's 8th kick of the night. Going to let it bounce. Now he picks it up. Does Sanders, who originally was going to let it go, and Emmanuel Sanders is stopped at the 36-yard line. 4:36 remaining in the 4th.
Biggest play of the game so far. Pass interference, not pass interference. He's on one edge and a little extension. You can see what the official saw. You get the arm out. Usually if you keep it in tight and you sort of give it the flipper. What do you call that? You know, you just little forearm out there. You get away with it. Just a little too much extension by Gronk there.
Forearm shiver?
Yeah, forearm shiver. Something in wrestling.
So here comes Brock Osweiler. Trying to make it 2 for 2 after the victory in Chicago last week. Blitz coming. That's tipped. And second down and 10. Allen Branch and Mayo put the heat on second down.
I think it's that same blitz that's giving them fits. Get a little pressure here, but it's that from depth blitz that comes a little bit late, and by that point the center Paradis has committed, and he just keeps getting these free runners at Brock Osweiler. No reason at all for Matt Patricia to change that now.
Ronnie Hillman is the back. Taking a while to get this play going. They have to use a timeout
Denver,
here.
They're second.
Not
a 30-second timeout.
Not at all where you want to have to take one. It's their second. So one left, second down and 10.
Isn't it interesting, though, that here's Brock Osweiler, a guy that went to the Pro Bowl in, 2005,
right.
And he goes over and he actually bought a Peyton Manning jersey when he was over there. And then much later, when Brock Osweiler was a part of this team and Peyton Manning made the Pro Bowl for the 100th time in a row, invited him to come over. Very magnanimous gesture, right? Invite him over, young kid, right. Show him what it's all about. Gets over there and he stuck him with the tab for the entire coaching staff that was there at the Pro Bowl. He went to check out and the whole thing was left on him.
His second round pick, he had enough to cover it, right? Second and 10, C.J. Anderson. Flanking Osweiler. Blitzing again. Osweiler in the pocket, fires incomplete. Demaryius Thomas.
Yes, sir.
Again, yeah. Logan Ryan.
Well, I know in the snow it's tough, but you have to come back to the football here. He breaks in, and Logan Ryan 2 or 3 times now in the snow has kept driving on the ball and been able to get there. If we get a win by the New England Patriots, I have a feeling who might get a game ball tonight.
That is 10 times they've thrown to Demaryius Thomas tonight without a catch. I don't think they keep records for that, but I can't ever remember anybody going 0 for 10.
Especially Demaryius Thomas.
Right.
Oh.
And that pass is incomplete.
Oh, what a shot.
Yeah, Caldwell. And Osweiler gets up. He went to the ground, took a vicious hit, but comes back to the sideline, but it's 4th down now.
Tavon Wilson made it look like he's in man coverage. Instead, it was man coverage on Osweiler. Look, this shot. I don't know how he got it out of his hands and put it right into the bread basket. Oh, my goodness, what a shot. It's one of those body blows they talk about in boxing.
Colquitt will send it. Nobody is back for New England, so they're just going to let it go. And can Colquitt get it? Well, he can, but that's not where you want to wind up booting it to the 25-yard line. That's where Brady will take over. A little bit of the recap on the pulse tonight. There are Brady's numbers, 3 touchdown passes. Osweiler, his numbers right there. Bolden with a big play on a 3rd and 8 to make it a 21-7 game, but back came the Broncos thanks to a botched punt. They made it pay off with Anderson going into the end zone.
You know, this guy, Tom Brady, has been around this so much. I think it's 60% of the time that he has played the season.
71 is recorded as eligible. 71.
He has played in the AFC Championship game. Think about that. That's amazing.
And as he said, he finally has it all together now.
Yeah.
From the 25-yard line. We'll start to use some of the clock here. Here's Blount. This is where those 2 timeouts that Denver had to use could come back to haunt them, because Brady really good at working the clock down, and Denver can stop it only once plus the 2-minute warning.
This is one of those plays that you draw it on the chalkboard. They don't use chalkboards anymore, but you draw it on whatever you draw it on. You say, I don't have to block Von Miller. I don't have to block that guy. Well, when it's Von Miller, you do have to block that guy.
2nd and 9. Brady caught Gronkowski, and that's a first down. Tackled there by Darian Stewart, and that's going to eat up some more of the clock.
Well, you know, by formation, when you have a safety flanked out on your tight end, it's man coverage. And Tom Brady can decipher those things as well as anybody. So by formation, he knows, is it man or is it zone? And when it's man, they're going to throw it to Gronkowski. That's exactly how they started the game.
Under 3 minutes. Play action over the middle, and that's incomplete. Gronkowski, and he is hurt. So Gronkowski gets hit and is rolling around. Ooh, baby.
Timeout on the field for an injured player.
So Gronkowski rolling around, injury timeout.
How else do you think he gets around so fast? Take the reins this holiday and get the Mercedes-Benz you've always wanted during the winter event. Hurry, offers end soon.
When I was a kid, I wanted to touch the skies.
I wanted to invent things.
I wanted to protect others.
I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to make a difference.
I knew that one day I would be the difference.
I am a special missions aviator.
Clinical nurse.
Pararescueman.
I'm Captain Chris Niels, and we are American Airmen.
See more at airforce.com.
From the gifts they want to the ones they really want. From big gifts that mean a lot to little ones that mean everything. Get the perfect gift for everyone and share wonder on Christmas Day. Walmart.
Well, that's about the last scene the Patriots would want to see, because you're going to get a cart that's going to come out right now as Gronkowski was writhing in pain, had to reach back for it, got hit. Let's see if we can see what happened.
Yeah, this right knee sort of gets whipped when he was hit by Darian Stewart. It wasn't even on the ground, but you'll see the whip effect here as these shoulder pads come in. Watch it just sort of whip. My goodness. What a great, great player this guy is. One of 2 unanimous All-Pros last year, along with J.J. Watt, and Tom Brady can't believe it.
Yeah, he watched Julian Edelman go down a couple of weeks ago. Amendola hurt tonight, but could be back next week, and Gronk gets a nice salute from the crowd here.
Well, we all know about what he does as a receiver. What makes him the greatest tight end is what he does as a blocker. And look at all the defensive guys from the Broncos coming over to give him a little smack. Well respected in this league. He has been beaten up physically because you have to beat him up. That's the only way you can play him. He's just so physically dominant on the field.
So Gronk through the years, as tough as they come, but he's taken a lot of shots. January 12, played in the Super Bowl despite a high ankle sprain. Missed 5 games in 12, missed the AFC Championship game in 13. Off-season forearm back surgery. ACL tear in 13 as well. So now you got Asante Cleveland, who is activated for the game tonight, who takes his spot. And Brady throws, and that pass intended for Scott Chandler is incomplete. So it's 3rd down and 10
Well, a little turnabout fair play here. Brandon Marshall going to come on the blitz here, and then we get the late movement around the outside of this one. So you force him over to Von Miller's side, and then Brady's going to take the shot.
Number 71 has reported as eligible. Number 71.
That's Fleming, who's been in and out as an eligible receiver tonight.
You just don't have the weapons for Tom Brady that he's used to having. I mean, the top 4 guys that he would look for in this situation, no longer in the game.
3rd and 10. Pass is caught, but short of the first down. There goes LaFell. Clearly their number 1 wide out right now. Chandler becomes their number 1 tight end, but it's 4th down. 4th down, and
well, here's some of the speed that they drafted Shane Ray, number 1 in the first round for. Here he comes hustling back down the line of scrimmage to save that first down.
You know, Denver took a timeout. Hesitating for a second there because Denver took a timeout, so that is their final timeout. They can stop the clock, or the clock will stop at the 2-minute warning. And that's it. Of course, you need a touchdown in this situation, down by 4. Punters have been busy tonight. This will be Allen's 9th punt of the game. It's the 17th overall. Boy, the Patriots just grinded out a win against the Giants, grinded out a win against Buffalo. Will they grind this one out tonight?
Left-footed punter, tough to handle sometimes.
Sanders is back there, and Sanders letting it bounce, and it will skid out of bounds at around the 16-yard line. And let's check in with Michelle.
Well, Al, it didn't take the Patriots long to declare Gronk out for the night. Gronkowski back in the x-ray room, and as he got out of that little cart to go into the x-ray room, could really barely put any weight on that right side. So it looks like they were looking at the right MCL on that right knee, but in the x-ray room and officially out.
All right, thank you, Michelle. So who knows how long. Amendola maybe back next week. Edelman surgery back in postseason in all likelihood. But first things first, as the Patriots try to extend the unbeaten streak to 11. From the 17-yard line, Osweiler deep downfield and adjusting for it, and finally Demaryius Thomas makes a catch. 11 times he's targeted. It's his first grab. Couldn't have come at a better time for him.
Well, this is what you can do. If you have a big receiver, sometimes you just give them a chance. Throw it up in the air. And that is what we have seen so many times over the years from Demaryius Thomas, and it could not have come at a better time.
2-minute warning, gain of 36. It'll be a first down at the 47-yard line. Set up for a fantastic finish, are we? In Denver on Sunday Night Football.
This helps me to manage my chronic pain, but it came with some baggage.
You're not the only one. Opioids block pain signals by attaching to something called mu receptors here, but they also attach to mu receptors in the bowel, and that can cause opioid-induced constipation, or OIC.
I could struggle with OIC the whole time I take my opioid?
Maybe not. There's Movantik. Movantik can help reduce OIC by blocking opioids from binding to mu receptors in the bowel. Do not take Movantik if you have a bowel blockage or a history of them. Serious side effects may include a tear in your stomach or intestine, and can also include symptoms of opioid withdrawal. Common side effects include stomach pain, diarrhea, nausea, gas, vomiting, and headache. Tell your doctor about any side effects and about medicines you take, as Movantik may interact with them, causing side effects.
So go on. Talk to your doctor about opioid-induced constipation.
And ask if once daily Movantik is right for you. If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
You've been eye-guzzling that show for 58 episodes. But oh God, there they are, the final credits. You've fallen into a show hole. The struggle could not be more real. Why even have a TV? Then you see it. Amazon Fire TV's vast library of best shows ever. So long, show hole!
We are the battle of New York.
I'm alive
For New York.
in New York City.
Brooklyn. Manhattan. We are the night you love to hate. Wednesday Night Rivalry on NBCSN.
Volkswagen post-game report. Michelle, as always, on the field with the stars of the game. Bob, Tony, and Mike look at this one, and Mike will have some, I'm sure, information about what's going on around the rest of the league. Chris and I will have a look ahead to next week's game in the Berg between the Steelers and the Colts. 2 minutes to play. No timeouts for Denver at the 47-yard line. Osweiler throws, and Thomas had to go to his knees and could not make the catch to the ground. He went 2nd down and 10.
It's just bizarre watching Demaryius Thomas. That was a low throw. I understand that. And he didn't want to go to a knee because he wanted to try and run with that ball. He just gets down underneath him. It was a good call. Almost tipped it right to an interception, though, didn't he?
Yeah, Chung was coming in. Couldn't hang on. 2nd down and 10 now. Osweiler deep down the left sideline. Pulled in. Emmanuel Sanders. What a night for him. Beat Butler. 1st and goal. Gain of 39. Osweiler can actually afford to take his time right
He
now.
better take his time.
He brought him down in a hurry, and he's, well, you know, timeout.
Now the Patriots are going to call timeout.
Right. So
Timeout. New England. They're 2nd.
So they have 1 left. 90 seconds to play.
Here we go. All right, on the outside against the best. You've got Emmanuel Sanders working against Malcolm Butler and just runs right by him for the huge play. But the reason the safety didn't get there, watch Osweiler look right. Made the safety look just for a moment and take a half a step that way. Kept him out of the play, and football doesn't get any simpler than man-to-man coverage. You go deep on the right, and then you go deep on the left. And here they are down inside the 10.
Ball spotted at the 8-yard line.
But Al, this is where it gets really tough on young quarterbacks. When you don't have experience, red zone offense is the most complicated part of the game, especially against Matt Patricia and Bill Belichick.
They empty the backfield. That's Anderson splitting wide to the right. And Osweiler's going to take it himself around the left side and go out of bounds. Don't need to do that. Gerard Mayo stops him there. You don't want to leave Brady any time on the other side of the clock. 2nd down and goal.
I'll tell you, it was a great play by Mayo, though. It looked for a moment like Evan Mathis might be able to get out in front of him, but he just couldn't get there, probably because of the ankle and the hamstring. Watch him come out here. There's Mayo right in there. Just could not get him locked up. If he had thrown at him, might have been able to cut him. There really wasn't anybody else there.
2nd down and goal. From the 7-yard line. Osweiler under pressure, and he's going to get sacked. Alan Branch back at the 19-yard line. 3rd down and goal. And a flag on the play. And the crowd anticipating it's going to be on the defense.
You cannot believe what Alan Branch just did. He just ran over Matt Paradis for a huge play.
Holding
stands.
defense number 23. Penalty gives us half minutes to the goal and an automatic 1st down.
On Patrick Chung.
Let's take a look.
What do you think? It wipes out a big sack. It would have been 3rd and goal from the 19-yard line. Stops the clock, which is good and bad.
Left hand is what they saw on the shoulder pad. We've had a few of those tight ones today, all day.
How about through the years? 1st and goal from the 3. Osweiler throws. It's caught. Andre Caldwell. Denver has the lead. It took him 1:22.
So many times the backup quarterback spends more time with the backup receivers than he does with the first-string receivers. You know he's throwing a bunch of these balls to Andre Caldwell in practice, and Logan Ryan, despite one of the great games we've seen, gives it up, and who would have thunk it?
No.
It's Brock Osweiler taking him 80 yards plus down the field to take the lead against Tom Brady.
Demaryius Thomas makes his first catch of the night. Sanders makes another big catch. He's had a great night, Emmanuel has. And then Osweiler for the touchdown to Caldwell. So Brady will have 69 seconds and one timeout and a field goal, of course, would tie the game.
Osweiler knows exactly what he has, exactly what he wants. They bring that same middle linebacker blitz. And then the reaction was exactly what it's been like around this young man, everything he's done. Brock Osweiler, we saw him in practice, and the defensive guys just love jabbing him. Then they have a lot of laughs, and he's a funny guy. We spent time with him in the meeting. You can see why they all love him. And boy, oh boy, has he delivered now in back-to-back games.
He's been the understudy for 3.5 years and now playing Broadway.
You know what Greg Knapp told me? He said, I'll bet John Elway saw a little of himself in this guy. Now, obviously not the arm strength that Elway had, but the mobility, playing in a run-first offense. I could see why he would think that he might be a fit down the road.
Pumped up, running up and down the sideline. McManus now sends it through the end zone. So Brady has 69 seconds, one timeout, and one of the best field goal kickers ever in Stephen Gostkowski.
And we're going to be talking about a holding call in the back of the end zone that completely changed that drive. That was not one of those bold, into the game, obvious holding calls. Was there a little? There was a little. But the Patriots have had a couple of those. The Gronkowski pass interference, and then that one.
Turned to 3rd and goal from the 19 into a 1st and goal from inside the 5. So now no Gronkowski from the 20. Brady throws over the middle. Chandler. So Chandler now the #1 tight end. At this moment, it's a gain of 23. Make it 22. They spot the ball at the 42-yard line. Brady hustles into the line of scrimmage. First down at the 42. 4-man rush. Tom flushed out, throws, and just throws it away. He's outside the pocket.
Foul for intentional grounding. Quarterback's outside the pocket, threw the ball beyond the line of scrimmage.
There you go, Tony Corretti. Right on top of it, 2nd down and 10.
A little bit of the spin move here to make Tom Brady come off the mark here. Tom Brady gets flushed out of the pocket and chooses just to throw it away.
Second and 10 with 40 seconds. Four-man rush. Good pocket. Caught. Chandler. He gets spilled by Talib short of the first down. Clock still running. And a timeout is taken here.
For an injured player.
Oh, an injured.
By rule, this will cost an excess timeout.
That's Malik Jackson was the injured player. Had it been New England, you had had a runoff.
Yeah.
Or a timeout.
And it's,
By
I think,
rule,
get one
Denver
extra.
will charge an excess timeout. With a play clock operator, reset the play clock to 40 seconds.
It's one of those weird things. It's an excess timeout, which essentially means you get a 4th in this situation. I think if you end up with another injured player, then something else kicks in, a 5-yard penalty, something like that. The rule book is like the IRS code right now. Who knows what all's in there.
So New England Still has its timeout. The clock starts to run, and Brady throws, and that's incomplete with a flag. Intended for Harper, covered there by Bruton. And Belichick is saying, wait a minute, why'd they start the clock?
Defense, number 25. 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
I think we have another clock issue here. What else is new at the end of a game? Because there was an injured player. There's the play clock. Now the game clock was starting. Play clock, of course, goes to 40 after the snap.
Well, and I think what Belichick is saying is you gave them that bonus timeout,
right,
and then you wound the clock. We were waiting. We thought it was a dead ball because of the timeout, and all that clock ran off.
Exactly right. 10 seconds left in regulation. They still have a timeout, but they got to get in field goal range. They're not there yet. And Brady will throw, and that will be caught, and then sliding out of bounds is LaFell. So that, with 4 seconds, will set up an opportunity to tie the game.
Wow. Maybe it just doesn't matter. Maybe it's just these two teams when they get together. Holy cow, what a game.
This is going to be a 47-yard attempt. On a bright sunny day at altitude, this is almost a chip shot for Gronkowski. Anything but tonight.
Long of 57 yards, well within his range.
Right. But in the snow, in a slippery surface, to send us into overtime. Which he does.
Wow. Wow.
Man, oh man.
Have we gotten our money's worth this week or not? Holy cow.
Overtime period.
So despite the clock running off several seconds, they were able to make the pass Brady to LaFell huge.
You know, and the great thing about that, let's give them credit, is they feel they caught bad breaks on some penalties, caught bad breaks on that clock management, and instead of hanging your head and be defeated, Brady hits the big pass, and they go to overtime.
They've been doing it for how many years now? It doesn't matter what happens.
You know, and I know everybody has their own version of what the Patriots are. I don't care what you say. What they have done over the past decade plus has been incredible.
Captains will play one 15-minute overtime period. We'll play it as if it is the fourth quarter with timing rules. All replay reviews will come from upstairs, and each team will be allowed 2 timeouts. As visitors, you have the opportunity to call heads. Number 18 calls heads. It is heads. They want the football.
So it comes down to this. If New England gets a touchdown, the game is over. Anything less, Osweiler and the Broncos will get the football at least once. What a game in Denver. 24-all.
It's down to the top 10.
You kind of got it all, actually.
The Voice live tomorrow and Tuesday.
Great morning start with Wave 3 News Sunrise.
Breaking news from overnight. Julian Glover has the very latest.
Look at what's happening right now.
Wave 3 News reporter Catherine Kington live on the scene right now.
This is still a very active scene.
Live all over Wave Country.
Julian Glover is live.
Wow. All right, you heard it here first.
More useful details on the weather.
We're going to have a lot of sunshine for it today.
Info you need to be on time from a team with positive energy. Expect more in the mornings right now. Wave 3 News Sunrise.
Thanks. I've worked my whole life, and now, for the first time ever, I can get health care through Medicaid. The lady helping me sign up said I'd be on such and such a plan, and I said, wait, can't I just get on Passport instead? And she was like, oh, sure, don't be bashful. You do have a choice. If you want Passport, ask for it.
If you qualify for Medicaid, call 1-800-578-0603 and ask for Passport Health Plan. We take the time to care.
What up,
peeps, it's Gabe.
And Babe.
And today we're talking about mobile plans the real way.
Why?
I'm at the coffee shop on my Walmart Family Mobile Unlimited plan. It's unlimited talk, text, and data. We could do this all day with 4G LTE speed. Hey, baby. Because we move fast.
You want to go to the park, buddy? And at $39.88, it's the lowest price unlimited plan that includes up to 5 gigs of 4G LTE data.
It's the real plan
for real people
with real savings.
Save money. Live better. Walmart. Never before has performance sounded so revolutionary. Watch the big finish of The Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 2, November 20th. Get revved up with 0% APR for 75 months on select 2015 Dodge Chargers at the Black Friday Blockbuster sales event on now. Plus, get $1,500 total bonus cash on the 2015 Dodge Charger SXT.
I'm Lauren Jones. Join me weekday mornings on Wave 3 News Sunrise.
Reviewing overtime. Again, a touchdown wins the game for New England. Anything else, Denver will get the ball. Teams are tied after one possession each. Next score wins the game. Game can end in a tie, unlike postseason. Just to clean up one thing, we heard from the league in terms of they ran the clock the right way as it turned out. I think what happened was at the end of regulation, Brady thought when he heard excess timeout, there was no sense of urgency when he went to the line. So that's when the clock started to go. Belichick was apoplectic along the sideline, but they actually got that right.
Well, they get it right, but from a player's standpoint, for Tom Brady, you hear timeout, you don't know excess timeout unless it was explained to him by Tony Corrente.
So the ball at the 20-yard line. They start with White and Bolden in the backfield, and the pass is incomplete. Looking for a flag is LaFell. There is none. Talib covers on the play, 2nd down and 10.
And now Tom Brady's looking for a few penalties to go his way. He's saying we've seen enough go against us in here, and we'd like to have one in our favor, but there really isn't. And now we're back to that whole discussion, the elite quickness that would be so big in a situation like that. How many times we see Brady just those little in and out runs, you know, to Edelman or Amendola, and now that he doesn't really have those guys on the field that have that kind of quickness.
2nd down and 10. And Brady's going to get sacked at the 13. Von Miller. Took him till overtime to get there. 7-yard sack, 3rd and 17.
Now Brady's going to try and step up, but just as he does, that door closes, and now he has to back up into Von Miller, who has begun to take over this game.
Third and 17 from the 13-yard line. Have to get to the 30. Brady has to dump it off. Shane Ray got there, rookie out of Missouri, their first-round pick. And it's 4th down. So Denver's going to get the ball, and a field goal could win the game.
I mean, what an unbelievable play by Brady to get that thing out. He was turned to his left and had to spin all the way around and somehow found a receiver close enough for that not to be called intentional grounding.
Ryan Allen the punt. Sanders is back there. Wow. Good kick. Beauty. Sanders backs up. Fields at the 29 and then slides to a stop at the 42-yard line. So that's a punt of 59 yards, a run back of 13. Take a look at Brock's numbers on the night. 263 through the air with a touchdown and 1 pick.
He told the story at the end of the Chicago game. He couldn't remember what the victory formation was. All he had to do is take a knee. He couldn't remember what victory formation was. And he's stuttering in the huddle, and all of a sudden he looks around and he said, quarterback, just go up to the line and take a knee on one. He said the whole huddle burst out in laughter. But it was good enough.
You saw Brock's dad. Goes to every one of his games. Dad and mom board the 43-yard line. Anderson swings around the outside for a gain of 2. 2nd and 8.
You know, I know we're talking about an undefeated team here in the New England Patriots, but the undefeated team that started the season and the team that's on the field right now are two entirely different teams. I mean, Jamie Collins and Dante Hightower are the two guys that this defense was really built around, and no more.
And the receiver situation is a complete mess right now. 2nd and 8. Over the middle, caught a yard shy of a first down at the 48-yard line. Owen Daniels plucks that one out of the air. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
Watch C.J. Anderson. We've seen him with brilliant runs. Watch him step around and pick up Mayo on this one. Right underneath the chin strap. Just buckles his head straight back. That'll slow down that blitz.
3rd and 1. And timeout is taken. You get 2 in overtime.
This is their first. A 30-second timeout.
At one point during the game, a 14-point lead for New England, but then Harper couldn't handle the punt, led to a Denver recovery and a touchdown. And the holding call on Chung, which negated would have been a sack and made it 3rd and goal from the 19-yard line. This is not 4th down territory, right, Chris? I mean, you can't take a chance to give New England the ball in midfield. So this is a key play on 3rd down here. C.J. Anderson is the running back.
See if they go back to the sneak that they went to early in the game.
Instead of toss, Anderson, he'll get it, and plenty more. C.J. Anderson is going to go all the way, and the Denver Broncos win the game.
The same exact play they scored the earlier touchdown on.
So only the Carolina Panthers are undefeated. And who would have guessed that at the beginning of the year? 10 and 1, Osweiler, the Southern Star, 30-24.
Exact play that they scored going the other direction. And the Patriots and Vernon Davis with the block, just as he did on the first one, and only appropriate that C.J. Anderson brings home the bacon for Brock Osweiler. Go figure, Al Michaels. We have seen it all.
That's prime cut bacon. Anderson, that gives him 113 yards on the night. Osweiler threw for 270. Dad loving every moment, and he gets to live it again next week when Denver goes to San Diego. What a game. A 14-point deficit in the snow overcome. Brady Osweiler won.
I asked him if he had thought any at all about Brady Osweiler won. He said 2 times, on Wednesday when the press brought it up and today when you brought it up. He said, other than that, I just have to think about one play at a time out there. What a party this is going to be.
Broncos go to 9-2. Volkswagen postgame report is next.
This is Black Friday.
Oh my God.
Does anybody want to be part of this?
No.
Well, Chevy has a better way with Black Friday deals all month long.
That's a great idea.
What if you could get up to 20% cash back when you bought it? Bam!
20% back? That's awesome.
It's Black Friday. Find your tag and get cash back for 20% of the MSRP on select 2015 vehicles in stock. Or current Chevy owners can get over $7,100 total value on this 2015 Tahoe.
To do great things, sometimes you gotta break the rules. Surface Pro 4, a new screen for new perspectives. A new pen for new masterpieces. New speakers for a new sound. We reinvented the Surface Pro. so you can reinvent everything else.
Superstore. You've shopped there. Maybe you've even worked there.
Let's put our best foot forward, okay? And Sal, I'm gonna need you to take the creepiness down to about a 2.
Superstore. Special preview tomorrow on NBC.
Welcome to the Volkswagen Passat post-game report. Here now, Bob Costas.
Wow, what a ball game in the snow in Denver. The Broncos 30 and the Patriots 24 in OT. 2 game balls, although I guess we could have given out any number of them. A star is born perhaps tonight because Brock Osweiler will get one of those game balls. 23 of 42 for 270 yards, a touchdown and a pick. And C.J. Anderson had 2 touchdowns, including the game winner. He rushed for 113. Caught 4 passes for 40 more, and Brock Osweiler and C.J. Anderson now speak with Michelle Tafoya.
Bob, thank you. Brock, you're 2 for 2, and you in this offense just beat an undefeated defending Super Bowl champion. What does this win mean?
You know, I'm not 2-0. This team's 2-0 in the past 2 weeks, and I think that's the biggest thing. This team fights together. We'll go anywhere. We'll play anybody. And, you know, this is a special team win.
On that drive, just before overtime, let's get to that one first because Emmanuel Sanders came up big. What was the connection like between you two tonight?
Both Emmanuel and DT both came up with huge catches on that drive. You know, we were just throwing go balls versus cover 1. That was something that we worked on a lot this week, and we said we were going to hit them, and we hit them at the right time.
You were at one point down 21-7. You end up in overtime. What are you thinking when you finally realize we're getting the ball back, Brady wasn't able to do anything, we got a chance to score?
Well, you know, Coach Knapp, our quarterbacks coach, and myself, we talked last night, and we said no matter what happens, it's going to be a 60-minute game. And, it was true tonight. We just kept fighting.
It was more than 60. Quick, before I turn to C.J. Anderson, a word from you. What did you think of the way he played tonight?
Oh, C.J. played incredible. And you know what? C.J. saw the holes, Ronnie saw the holes, but a huge credit has to go to the offensive line because without those guys, we're not doing any of this tonight.
And they were banged up. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Let's turn to C.J. Boy, the smile on your face really says it all, C.J. Just take me through that final score there in overtime. What did you see ahead of you?
They just made a cut, and Ryan just made it happen, and just really, to be honest, I don't know what happened. The hole opened up, and I just took off and ran in through. But we kind of knew I was cutting it up all day. I was kind of being powerful and being physical, and we thought I can get to the edge one time, and that happened.
It did happen a lot for you today. You were able to move laterally and make cuts in these conditions that were difficult for all of us to explain. How do you explain it?
It's just something we work on, just having our weight over our foot and make sure that we get our cleats in the ground. And I got the right shoes on. You got to give it to our equipment guys. And you got to give it to the big boys up front and to just play call. I mean, everything's just focused well today, and we got a long way to go, but this is a good one.
A long way to go, and this is a good one. I mean, this was an undefeated Patriots team that came in here. And you guys, with Brock Osweiler, what does this one mean?
Oh, it means a lot, Brock come in, he's playing the way he's playing. Just as a team, we're just trying to say we have his back. And hopefully that clicks around when Peyton come back, we'll have his back. And we're just trying to make their job easier.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Hi, Mom. Love you.
Bob.
All right, Michelle's guests, Brock Osweiler, C.J. Anderson. Brock is 6'8", C.J. is 5'8". They both stood tall tonight. Let's bring in Tony Dungy. Tony, back-to-back wins with Osweiler as the quarterback and Peyton Manning's ongoing status uncertain. How far can Osweiler take the Broncos?
Well, Bob, I had my doubts until tonight, but Brock Osweiler looked comfortable. He's able to run the system that Coach Kubiak wants to run. We saw that running game get going. He hit some throws when they needed it. Stood in the pocket, made big throws. This team, obviously, you see just the chemistry. They have a lot of confidence in him. So I think, you know, especially with this win, this has generated some momentum for them. And Osweiler can take them a ways.
And if and when Peyton gets healthy, a decision to be made at this point, it's fair to say, about the remainder of this year and next year if Peyton Manning wants to play another year in the NFL. Now let's shift over to the Patriots. We don't know yet the exact extent of the injury to Gronkowski, but it didn't look good. They're without Edelman. They're without Amendola. They're without Dion Lewis. How much more can the Patriots, even the Patriots, withstand?
They do a great job, Bob, of not worrying about who's not there. They maximize the strengths of the people they have. But as Chris Collinsworth said at the end of the broadcast, this is not the same team that started the season. And Rob Gronkowski is a huge loss to them. All the other guys that you talked about, they can be replaced to a certain extent, but nobody does what Gronkowski can do in terms of getting matchups, mismatches, dictating coverages. He's their most valuable player other than Tom Brady. So if he's out any extended period of time, this team is a little bit vulnerable.
All right, Tony, thanks. We go now to Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk. Ben Roethlisberger left the game late today as the Steelers lost to the Seahawks. What's the latest you're hearing on his condition?
Well, Bob, what actually happened in that game, late in the fourth quarter, Ben Roethlisberger self-reported that he was undergoing concussion symptoms, was sent to the locker room, and he is now officially in the NFL's concussion protocol. He'll have to pass various tests and ultimately be cleared to play again by an independent neurologist. The news, on the other hand, for the Seattle Seahawks, much worse. They lost star tight end Jimmy Graham today with a torn patellar tendon. He's out for the year, and that means down the stretch more opportunities for Seahawks tight end Luke Wilson, Bob.
Mike, thank you. Again, the final score, the Broncos 30 and the Patriots 24 in overtime. Al and Chris back to wrap things up right after this.
Okay, we're here. There's Dad, Mom, the twins, Aunt Alice.
You didn't tell me Aunt Alice was coming.
Of course.
Don't forget Grandpa. Can the test drive be over now? Maybe just head back to the dealership.
Don't you want to meet my family?
Yep, totally.
It's practically yours, but we still need your signature. Hurry in for great deals all Black Friday weekend on select new Volkswagen models during the Sign Then Drive event.
Layover, 24 hours. Hello, Reykjavik. Oh, so that's how you spell it. What are you looking at? Oh, cool. Hungry. Fish, anyone? Hello, seventh waterfall of the day. Hello, duck boat. Hello, sheep. Oh, right, itchy Icelandic sweaters. And no foreign transaction fees. Sweet. One last look. Ah, triple points, and we're off. What's next?
Wherever the journey takes you, carry American Express Gold. It's more than a card. It's the gear that gets it done.
Everyone has the power to change the world. Not with some superhuman ability, but with an idea. Like instead of kerosene, using the power of gravity to create light, removing the risk of fire and toxic fumes. It's an invention called Gravity Light, proudly supported by Shell. What if your idea could change the world?
I absolutely love my New York apartment, but the rent is outrageous. Good thing Geico offers affordable renters insurance. With great coverage, it protects my personal belongings should they get damaged, stolen, or destroyed. Excuse me.
Delivery. Hey, lo mein, Szechuan chicken, chopsticks, soy sauce, and you got some fortune cookies. Have a good one.
These small New York apartments.
Protect your belongings. Let Geico help you with renter's insurance.
Welcome back to the Volkswagen Passat post-game report.
Hasselback, again play action, throws backdoor to T.Y. Touchdown, T.Y. And the Colts have battled back and take their second lead of the day.
Russell stands strong, throws to the middle, ball is gone, turning upfield, his ball, he breaks the tackle, down the near sideline, they're not going to get him. Touchdown to ice this game for the Hawks.
Well, those are our teams we'll see next week. You've got Indianapolis going into Pittsburgh. We heard Mike talk about Ben Roethlisberger. We don't know what's going to happen. But just a post-mortem on this game tonight. This was a classic game.
Could it have been more fun? You know, these are the kind of moments that you just remember for years when you're finished with broadcasting. And it just was one of those great nights where you said, is it possible? Yeah, it's possible, but come on. And then Brady comes back and ties it up overtime. You win oh, come on. You know what's going to happen next. Yeah. And Osweiler got it done.
Philly at New England next week. So we go to Pittsburgh. You heard Mike talk about Ben Roethlisberger. We don't know concussion protocol. Andrew Luck is week to week on the other side, but if he's not ready, Matt Hasselbeck at 40 years old, one of the great characters in the league, as we know, but he gets it done again today.
Well, and, you know, he makes the game much simpler. He was kind of picking on Andrew Luck a little bit, going, you know, they only put 11 out there. Just throw it to one on where they're not, you know, and he has this great sense of humor. But you could see we're in a locker room when everything was kind of falling apart on that team, that he could be the galvanizing force, a little humor, a couple of jokes here and there, a few jabs, and all of a sudden now they're on a win streak.
So it's Indianapolis tied with Houston for the top spot in their division at 6-5 against Pittsburgh. That's the matchup next week on Sunday Night Football. So from snowy Denver, we say goodnight. In overtime, the Broncos win it by a score of 30-24. Until next Sunday night, Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya, our whole gang, Fred Godelli, Drew Esicott, leading the troops, saying good night from Denver.
NBC Sports thanks you for watching this special presentation of the National Football League.
Alexa, what's the matchup next Sunday night?
Indianapolis is playing Pittsburgh.
That's a good one. That should go on my to-do list. Alexa, read my to-do list.
You have 5 to-dos. Schedule manicure pedicure.
No, that's not.
Check bedroom for spiders.
No, it's not me. I wasn't doing
Buy
that.
jasmine scented sea salt scrub.
My wife probably got it.
Find a strong person to open jelly jar.
You know what? Alexa, stop.
Want more, Seth? Just ask Alexa, tell me a late night joke, and tune into Late Night with Seth Meyers, NBC Weeknights.
Play McDonald's Game Time Gold. The winning code for this week's Super Bowl 50 tickets is VHMBN3GM6H. Thanks for playing Game Time Gold at McDonald's.
It's down to the top 10.
You kind of got it all, actually.
The Voice live tomorrow and Tuesday.
It's the right thing to do. What's that?
It's what they do, like lifetime rotation and balancing and free alignment with any new tire.
No free kittens?
Kittens? We could do that?
I hate that guy.
So you're shopping for health insurance. But are you looking in the right place? Because only Connect offers big savings on coverage from up to 7 leading insurers. And chances are you qualify for discounts. Having health insurance is the law, but that doesn't mean you should spend more than you have to. Visit the Connect store at the mall in St. Matthews. Open enrollment begins November 1st through January 31st.
I'm Lauren Jones. Get more in the morning with Wave 3 News Sunrise.
Expect more right now. You're watching Wave 3 News.
They say a woman is lucky to be alive tonight after she was kidnapped by a man impersonating a police officer. It's a case that officers are calling interesting and yet bizarre. And the suspect, he's no stranger to crime. Thank you for joining us here for this late edition of Wave 3 News at 11. I'm Chris McGill. And late last night, a man kidnapped a woman in Jeffersontown before sexually assaulting her. Police finally arresting him in a Pleasure Ridge Park area after a 5-hour standoff with SWAT units. Wave 3 News reporter William Joy spoke with the police and the man's fiancée tonight and joins us now live in the newsroom with the very latest developments. William.
Now, Chris, officers are still investigating the events that led up to this morning's arrest of 46-year-old John McCleany. Police say with his past convictions, including multiple burglaries and even killing someone, he should have been in jail. But it was that criminal record that led them to him and helped keep a woman alive. It all started at 9:30 Saturday with blue emergency lights.
This is an interesting case. It's a bizarre case.
Jeffersontown police say John McCleany pulled over a woman using illegal blue lights on his car before kidnapping her and tying her up.
She went through a very traumatic evening. And, you know, I'm just really glad that she's still with us today.
According to police, McCleany then drove the victim here to this cricket store on Taylorsville Road where she worked and he used to work. He then went in the store, messed with the security camera, and stole a safe before driving off. Police came to the store and realized this burglary was similar to other recent crimes McCleany was arrested for.
We didn't know we had a kidnapped person. We thought we were just investigating a burglary.
They say McCleany drove around with the woman for hours before he sexually assaulted her.
She was extremely shaken.
Hours later, he came to his house in PRP, but police were waiting for him. He barricaded himself in the garage. While his fiancée begged him to surrender, the victim managed to escape.
Mr. McCleany is a violent person. I'm just glad that we were able to do some good police work and get to that house before he had a chance to kill her.
And then the police came in and told us to get out.
Brian Wright had to leave his house for the standoff that lasted 5 more hours, with McCleany threatening to kill himself and officers. The SWAT team finally used tear gas and arrested him.
And I'm a firm believer that this guy is more than just a burglar. I think